Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome finally to the next episode of Zone 91. This podcast being a review of the Animorphs book series. And today, me and my co-host will be talking about the second book in the series called The Visitor, narrated by Rachel. And my co-host, okay, here's a little backstory.
TikTok.
I originally came to 84, previously the co-host of With Extra Happy, was going to be doing this podcast, and we even the format is supposed to be like 1 week is reading and gathering notes, the second week is, checking on notes and figuring exactly what we're going to talk about. And through this whole process, we were finally going to film it one day, but then I got bedridden. And really long story short, we fell out of contact, and she said, basically she wasn't going to do this podcast. And so then I turned to my friend Trey, who you've seen before on Jash Talks a few times. And, she's a fellow Fanimorph, and so I have a good rapport with her, and so she was like, okay. And then a few like a day or two later, she breaks her ankle, and she's finally recovered, but now she has a job, so can't do that. And so I was finally like, I don't care who the fuck I get this time. I just need someone to read the book and review it with me. Oh, here's someone I could pull into anything, and that's why Marty's here, even though he's not a fan of the Animorphs series.
Hello. Yeah, not a very big fan. No offense to anyone who likes Animorphs, but it's just not my cup of tea. But I did read it, and I will review it for you. So there you go. Story of my life.
As before. Omar is basically, I don't know how the fuck you became co-host.
Oh, Christ. All right.
That was the signing of the cross for those of you who aren't religious.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Amen.
God help us all.
Okay.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
And I feel fine.
I don't.
Well, you're you.
Okay.
And so this setup is a little different from the previous episode because, again, this has been on hiatus for so long that I'm like, just get it out, I don't care. So this will be more in the format of one of my reviews on Jash Talks than the actual Zone 91 podcast. And I might actually end up changing the format of this podcast just because this one is cursed.
Done halfway through. If I die because of this podcast, I'm coming back to haunt you.
No, what happens is that...
Or get hurt.
It happens before the podcast and stops you from actually being able to do the podcast, so you're okay.
Oh, so I'm in the safe zone now.
Yeah,
all right.
You should be. Unless this curse has evolved. So, what did you think of this book overall?
Overall, I think it was decently written. I thought the characters were well made out, and I thought that it had a good storyline. Again, Animorphs isn't really my thing, even though I am a part of an Animorphs RP on Facebook. But as a critic looking at it, I would have to say I'd give it a B.
I was actually going to do a rating system on this one.
Well, I just brought one up.
Okay, good. You're the only one who's using that.
I prefer the A to F system rather than the stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Sorry, let's go back.
It was an alright book. I won't say I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it was something worth reading.
Sort of stepping away from the contents of the book itself, I like the cover it's probably one of my favorite covers of the series. Just it seems to be hand drawn, actually drawn instead of photographed like the others.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Unique.
It. I actually haven't seen the cover.
Oh, okay. I'll send you it.
I don't think I have.
Cover and the inside cover. For all of you wondering, I saved images of the covers and inside covers of every Animorph book, and I've been like holding myself back from doing just a whole vlog series on my opinions of the covers, like for 6 months.
The next.
Yeah. So the story itself, it does reveal interesting things about Chapman. Like you see him at the first book and you think of him as like an enemy, and then you see that the story is a little more complicated than that. It goes into Rachel's I'm going to do what I want, even if it's crazy and insane and I know I shouldn't be doing this.
I hate stories that make a character out to be a villain and then suddenly he's the good guy.
Well, the Yerk inside Chapman's head is...
It's like the Vampire Diaries, like with Damon. I don't like characters that, I'm the big bad villain, and then they bring in another villain, and suddenly that villain's like, oh, I'm going to help you guys out. Yeah, well, let's go. Let's go fight.
Yeah, but the thing is, Chapman is a host, and they can be voluntary or non-voluntary. So the Yerk inside their heads is what's, going to be kicking butts. And the Yerk inside Chapman's head was the guy at the construction site saying, "Hey, Hork Bajir, if you see any, teenagers here, just chop off their heads and bring them to me to identify them." That's the Chapman person. That's the Yerk in the head.
Yeah.
So he's still the villain. He's still a villain, but you can see that why he became a controller is complicated. But yeah, I would hate if, Vischer 3 suddenly became like a good guy.
Yeah,
I definitely see that being like, nope, no, fuck it.
That's what I initially got from Chapman was, I'm a bad guy. Oh, now I'm a good guy. Like, what? It just didn't make sense. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it's just since you never read the Andalite Chronicles and you never got to see the version of Chapman in that book, of the Andalite Chronicles was Alfangor's backstory. And Chapman was there, and he's very different in that book. He in Andalite Chronicles, he's more of I just care for me and I'll side with you, because it makes more sense. And so that's sort of what annoys me between this book and Andalite Chronicles. It's like I guess I can't, maybe having a daughter changed his mind, but it's just still so different that's actually what annoys me.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Zone 91 is cursed, so you're not in the safe zone.
This isn't AutoZone. You can't be saying that.
Okay. Oh god. Oh. So let's see. It was one of the topics I chose for today was, what do you think of the revelation of Chapman? And we talked about it.
That's covered.
Damn it, I totally did not come up with these questions at the last minute. On about.
Oh no, not at all.
We're totally professional here.
Hey, I'm all about being professional. It's my job to be professional. I mean, I've definitely shaved this weekend. I'm wearing a suit right now. That's how professional I am.
Yeah, you weren't playing Arkham, some Batman game all day.
Arkham Knight. Great game, by the way. But we won't discuss that right now.
This is an Animorphs podcast. Okay. What was one moment that stuck out to you in the book?
The very beginning, when they were flying, and Rachel was like scared as fuck to crash, and it was Tobias, right? He was sitting there telling her to let the bird take over, like
Tobias.
Tobias? Was it Tobias?
Yes,
I don't know why I say Tobias. Or whatever I said.
I think I was pronouncing him that way for 5 books until I learned how to pronounce the name.
I don't know why I just said that. Anyways, he was sitting there telling her to let the bird take over and all that. That moment was pretty cool for me. It was one of the moments that really stood out in the entire book. Was the beginning.
Yeah, hey, didn't you just shoot at me? I'm an endangered bird.
Yeah. Can't be doing that.
Yeah, for some reason now I watched Spaceballs last night, and Princess Vespa, they're about to escape the one prison, and she's like, I can't touch a gun, and someone shoots her hair, and then she just kills.
Yeah.
I think Rachel would really connect at that moment.
Yeah.
She'd be like, what do you mean she's crazy for doing that?
Either that or that Firefly episode where a preacher picks up a gun and is shooting the guys, and they're like, Shepard, doesn't the Bible say something about shooting people? He's like, yes, it does, but however, it's rather fuzzy on the subject of kneecaps.
I need to see all the episodes. Yeah, I've seen that quote before.
Yeah, that's a great episode. But yeah, that's the instant thing I went to was the yeah, they're shooting at you, but you're not exactly a bird technically.
I know, but still, but they think she is totally a real bald eagle, and it's illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an army guy, you should know.
Hey. It's ironic. A side note: it's ironic that one of the most endangered birds in the United States is the bald eagle. That's because Americans have been hunting it. However, it is our national bird and a symbol for this country. So I've never understood, why are you hunting the eagle if it's the symbol for your country? Doesn't make sense. But anyways.
That is true.
It doesn't make sense.
This is the symbol of our country. Let's eat it.
Exactly.
You haven't run across Axe yet, but Axe is like the dog while in Human Morph, like trying to stick anything into his mouth. So Axe trying to eat a bald eagle while in Human Morph, I can understand, because it's like, I'm going to try gasoline.
Why the hell not?
Just, Axe and Lights don't have mouths, so he's like, this taste is the sensation of taste. Oh, so we should have been totally doing a book with Axe. Maybe number 8 when he pretends to be Jake's cousin and go to school.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm just... God, okay. But, yeah, going back to your original point 20 minutes ago, of letting the animal mind take over somewhat is sort of needed to control certain morphs. It's like you as a human don't really know exactly how everything functions. You're like, okay, I want to fly, but how do I do that?
Well, you get some wood, and you get a bicycle, and you make some wings, and you ride the bike off a cliff, then you open up the wings, and you're flying. Well, falling, but it's the same principle, right?
Landing. Oh, God.
When pigs fly, throw a pig off the cliff. It's flying, Daddy.
No, sorry, pigs fly, then I just thought bacon. I'm hungry. Pigs flying bacon. Flying
Yes.
bacon. Okay.
But yeah, I understand the principle of that mostly, especially for like dogs or birds, bears. Sometimes you'd probably want to have some sort of resident memory from the animal you're possessing, so
Yeah.
that way you know how to use it.
About bear, Rachel's Balmore becomes a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. It's odd reading the first 6 books without her having a grizzly bear morph, because it becomes super iconic once she acquires it. It's like, wait, don't you have a girl? Oh yeah, not yet. Look.
That's how most books work too. Like, Sherlock never said it's elementary, my dear Watson, but that's like an iconic thing for Sherlock Holmes to say now. And I saw that a lot in Animorphs too, especially with the grizzly bear thing. Like, comes in 6 books later, and it's like the go-to thing now.
Yeah, it's like, what elephant morph? How could she ever not? And if I remember to once, if I ever get to book 7 on this podcast, we'll discuss her acquiring the grizzly bear morph, because that is one of those deep things that you don't expect to find in children's books.
Yeah.
So sorry, I just go off on a tangent on book 7. Like, no, wrong book.
We're not there yet. You're not there yet.
That's what she said. Okay, my one thing that sort of stuck out and sort of wanted to talk about, since, after I finished the Zone 91 episode for the first book, was that during this book, Rachel just is basically sort of getting overwhelmed, and she puts herself into a dangerous situation. What happens is she knows that she should wait for her mom at the mall and, be safe like that. But she's like, fuck it, I'm going to go, walk down an alley and then this pedophile, because remember, Rachel is like 13 in this book. And this college kid comes and's like, hey, babe, basically. And then she halfway morphs into an elephant, which the morphing process is really nothing like it is on the book covers. It's really disgusting shit. Like, one of the book's covers sort of, and it's really fun talking about, role playing or just writing a fanfic and having morphing involved, because anything could happen.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the most disgusting thing I could do today? And so afterwards, Rachel, Marco, and the whole gang is in Rachel's bedroom, or Jake's, I think it's Rachel's bedroom, and Marco's like, you are a fucking moron for doing that. You're a fucking moron for, endangering this, stopping the resistance before it even began. And some people, like a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, like, this is how much things sometimes stick into my mind when they want to. And like, people on the Tumblr Animorphs fan community were like, well, that was sort of, Marco was wrong for getting upset because, it was showing sexism, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I looked over that scene and it's like, she wanted to get into that situation. It wasn't that he was a pedophile. I'm not defending him at all, but she was the one to get into that situation.
Yeah, and I mean, most kids, teenagers, go put themselves in that situation for a reason. Especially in this book, like, there are a lot of scenes where they're like, why did you do that? Just cause, just for the hell of it.
Rachel
I
is
was bored, so I decided to go for a walk, and I found myself in a dark alley, and there happened to be some older guy, and it just kind of happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I want her to be raped, and just like she was doing that, saying, "I'm going to get myself in a position of life or death," and he could have been a controller. Chapman drove up soon afterwards, so what if Chapman saw her?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, because then she'd get
It probably would have gone a lot differently, I'll tell you that much.
Series would have been a lot shorter. It's just like Marco, like, no, I don't want her to be raped. She got into that situation, and she got out of it, which I'm happy about. But Marco is more than right for being pissed off, because Marco is the voice of reason. He's the one there in the group that's like, it's not a revelation in book 5 that when he finds out his mother is Visher 1, that he's like, I really want to fight now. But before that, he's like, I don't want to fight, but I'm not going to let you be morons.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just one of those things that it's a lot like horror movies. Like, why are you doing that? And then they just happen to get out of the situation. I'm like, how did you manage to get out of that situation?
Oh, the one managed to get out of when the construction equipment at the end of the book was blowing up spaceships.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense, like, but it happened. It happened.
I think I have, when I was doing my blog written reread of this series, I used a gif of Bill Nye like going like this, like when he was with the stars, and then the word science popping up.
That's pretty accurate. I mean, gotta love the scientific mind.
It's just like I stopped reading the Cinnamon Buns reread because I found it sort of influencing my own writing, and I don't want that to happen. I want my thing to be my own crappy thing, but they pointed that out, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. People. That's all I can say about it.
It's like, I love Animorphs. I will defend it until the day I die, but it's like, you gotta laugh at that. How are we getting out of this situation? Let's apply the laws of science.
The laws of science, man. I could do anything.
I could do it's just like, at least, like, stormtroopers not being able to shoot shit, that doesn't make sense, but this is like, they're adorable.
That's the other thing. Why the hell is it that every villain has horrible freaking aim? They're standing right in front of you. You can't shoot the guy? What the hell are you doing, guy?
In its defense, it was the 90s.
I saw some B movie the other day, and it was a guy. I don't remember the name of it. It was like some foreign Japan one. It's something to do with samurais, and the guy, somehow guns were involved, and the guy was standing there, point blank, like the bullet, the gun was probably maybe 5 feet from this guy, and he freaking misses. And this guy somehow manages to knock the gun out of his hand and kill him. But I freeze framed it every round, and the freaking bullet, the gun fired before the guy moved. I was like, how do you do that? I want to know. I want to learn how you do that. Because that is some freaking awesome shit.
Be in a B movie.
Be in a B movie. That's all you need to do.
Script.
Uh-oh. But yeah, it's just those things that annoy the heck out of me.
some good. Okay, I was meaning to click on something else. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay. Melissa Chapman was introduced into the series in this book, and since you, Marty, have not read the other books, I'm going to rephrase my question.
Okay.
Would you be interested in seeing more of Melissa from what you saw of her in this book?
Sure. She wasn't a bad character. And she had some good moments that I think were great for the plot line. So, I mean,
Like
sure,
what?
hell not. I honestly don't remember any of them. I just remember thinking about her like, who is this person? I've never heard of her in my life, but I want more of her because she's she made things funny.
See, Applegate, if you're not listening, see, even non-fans of this fucking book series wanted more of Melissa.
What, did they like take her out or something?
She's
Or is she like a
hang on, let me get the rant ready.
minor character in the book?
What?
She like a minor character in the actual series?
Oh god, she never really appears except I think when near the end of the series when shit really, really hits the fan, like the York invasion eventually becomes known. Like the secrecy eventually becomes gone. Jake's parents get infested, so Jake can't go back home, and the Animorphs go to the Marshpeteer Valley. That is introduced in book number 13. And then
Okay.
is a dick is just I'm going to say. Sorry. I have strong opinions on the character.
Okay.
Okay. And that'll take a little too long to explain, but and then in one of the Megamorphs books, let's see, I think the third Megamorphs book, where the Time Matrix, which is a time traveling device, has been found by Vischer 4, and basically the Animorphs have to take time to, write history.
Right. It always goes that way.
And so they're like going through time, trying to get to, you can read that yourself. It's pretty interesting. But anyways, at the beginning of that book, they show an alternate history where, slavery is still in existence. Jake isn't dating Cassie. She's one of his slaves, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tobias hasn't been stuck in Hawkmorph, and he's dating Melissa.
All right.
So yeah, that's the only two major times outside this book that she's there. So yeah, she's like, ooh, this seems like a character with interesting po. Oh, okay.
And she appears twice.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I am against that. I think that's retarded.
Thank you. Like the SJWs on Tumblr will probably be hearing this say that word again.
Freaking pongos.
We're getting that word popular.
Oh, we better be.
Well,
that word is going to be it. Everyone's a freaking pongo on Tumblr. Spread the news.
Pongo is someone, so I am a Pongo.
It's the name of my foreign robot that then became the name for anyone who uses Tumblr.
It was the name of your what?
It was the name of that. You remember when we were talking about the robots, and you're like, what name would you choose if you had a robot? And I was like, Pongo. And Omar's like, that sounds like an insult. I'm like, yeah. So then it became the Pongo.
How it came to be.
Yeah.
I just remember one day we started saying it, and then we never stopped saying it.
No, I remember. Because you all insulted me that was going to be the name of my robot.
I'm never insult you.
Oh, no, never. God forbid. Holy shit, how are you not dead? So, yeah. That was, that's the story of how it came to be.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I would have loved more Melissa, as you can tell when I was like, let me prepare that rant. And instead, I can't really raise my voice too much, or else your eardrums would have broke. Fuck this shit. Oh, this seems totally awesome character. Okay, bye. Nice knowing you.
Seems legit. Oh. The fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, forgetting bongos. We'll never hear the end of it now. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but it's gonna happen, and we'll never hear the end of it.
Okay, that is actually all the topics I had covered for Zone 91.
Oh, good. You went through that fast.
That's what she said. I'm on a roll.
I'm just setting it. Oh, fuck that.
So,
Just setting it all up. Just setting it all up.
Yeah, so I don't know when the next episode of Zone 91 will come out. Like, I've planned for this episode to come out way earlier with an actual Animorph. And I would, like, drag Marty into doing the next book, but it's a Tobias book. And I know I'd get easily defensive. It's like, I didn't really, the book was okay. Book, you
That book was
bastard.
all right. It wasn't my favorite, but I read it, and you know, that's how I feel about this book. I read it. It's not life changing, but it's definitely, you know, it entertained me for the 4 hours it took me to read.
Yeah, it was
4 or 5 hours or something like that.
I remember
93 pages.
I tried seeing one day how many Animorphs books I could read in a day back when they were still coming out.
Oh yeah.
This 7. That's the competitions I did with myself way back when. How much could I read? But I don't know when the next episode of Zone 91 is going to come out. I'm sort of want to put it to the wayside because I do consider Curtis like Key Tour started having problems when I said, hey, how about Zone 91? Then Trey soon afterwards. And Marty's coughing today, and it's just like,
I'm sorry.
No, it's the podcast. I'm totally blaming the podcast. It was a good time.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so I don't know when it's going to come out, and I'm sort of more focused on getting a new co-host for With Extra Happy. So,
What the heck is that about? I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's my Animorphs podcast that covers topics over a range of books. This is basically talking about the books, one book. With Extra Happy is like what do you like episode on Andalites.
Oh yeah.
I tried to be, balanced with, but it turned into a rant against the Andalites for me. Yeah, they have a few good. Oh my God, they're pompous bastards. Really, God. So yeah, Marty, if you ever read the entire series and we can actually do an episode of that with you. Which
sure.
is never going to happen.
That will never happen, but I'll definitely agree to it.
And for those of you who are actually interested, if you go to my blog, jashikins.blogspot.com, I have a guest ad for a special episode of Jash Talks, which will be an audition for With Extra Happy. And so if you go, so basically I just want to get a feel for you. to see how you'd work. And I actually asked Trey if she would want to be the new co-host for with Extra Happy, but she's sort of busy. Then I was talking on Skype of like, hey, do you want to be this co-host for my Animorphs podcast? And when I told her the day it'd be on, she was like, oh, I can't get to, where I usually get to the computer on that day, so damn it. So I was actually, if I talk to you and you're watching this, you can still audition, but it's just like I was looking for people I talk to a lot, so I know I have good repertoire with them.
Okay. But yeah, I would, but like I said, Animorphs isn't exactly my favorite. Something I like frequently listen or watch, or listen to, or read, or whatever I'm supposed to do with these books, things. I don't know what they do. They just have words in them, and I look at it, and somehow it manages to make sense. Especially the English ones. The English ones make no freaking sense at all. It's like, that was a comma? What the hell's a comma? There's semicolons too? What? No. Come on.
The semicolons get not enough love.
Did you see the semicolon song?
No, I didn't. I just really like semicolons.
Look it up on YouTube.
I don't want to now.
They use semicolons in all the wrong ways. And then it's great.
Okay, let's actually end this. So Marty, do you have anything you want to say? Anything you want to announce?
Nothing in particular. I don't know. Am I forgetting anything?
What about the whole court thing with?
Oh yeah. I finally got approval for Martin Bedell. That was good. And some of the other characters. I can't use them excessively, but I do have rights to now use them in my story. So I don't know who's banging on the freaking door. Oh, it's Lugo. Never mind. Anyways, you're
on the air.
That doesn't stop me from talking.
I know, but I'm alerting them that now they're part of this podcast.
What? Oh, anyways, yeah.
What are you doing sleeping anyways?
Shush! I am on the phone. So, anyways, yeah. I finally got approval for that, and
Whose email?
We're on a podcast right now, fool.
Can I be on it?
Yeah, go ahead. Say
Obviously, he is.
Hello.
Hi.
That's up, Shaw. I don't know what they're doing in my room right now.
So what's the podcast about?
We're at the very end of it, but we were reviewing the Animorphs #2, The Visitor by K.A. Applegate.
We were reviewing the second book to Animorphs.
Animorphs?
Yeah.
You need to read. I can send you all the PDF files.
We should talk about what? AI, artificial intelligence.
We already had a discussion on AI.
Well, we about to have another.
This is the wrong podcast for that.
AI is like Jesus Christ.
anyways, yeah. So we got that approval, and so now I'm able to do that. I just need to make sure you get a copy of it, and also you to sign off on it, and everything will be good. Everything will be fine. It's all right. Yeah.
Oh, good. and these are cheers and trolling.
I killed the guy. What are you talking about? You suck. I killed the guy.
And until next video, goodbye.